Great catching up with my next guest, Jamey-Lyn Horth. Big fight here, UFC Edmonton, November 2nd. Jamie, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you, which means you have a fight coming up. I know we haven't seen you in a bit, but first, I believe first UFC fight in Canada. I know it would be nice to be in Vancouver, but Edmonton's still pretty close, not too far of a plane ride. How excited were you to get on this card?
Super excited. I know that when I was offered a fight from my agency, I was offered a fight in Abu Dhabi on the 28th of October. And then this all came through at 3 a.m. our time. So my agents were back. I think they were in London or something at that time. And then I got like 4 more messages being like, hold up, we're going to try move it a week. We're going to keep you in Canada. So Abu Dhabi would have been awesome, but there's nothing, there's no greater feeling than being able to fight on home turf. So
yeah, and then there'll be a lot of Canadians on that card. Shout out to Iridium for pushing that and making it happen, which is great. We haven't seen you since December. Was this by design, or were you hoping to fight a bit sooner than this?
Definitely hoping to fight a bit sooner. Just had a few little things going on with the body, but was ready to go sort of like midsummer. It's just that this is kind of just the timeline that worked for the company, and just taking it as I go. And this is my 3rd fight, so I'm still relatively new, to the professional world, but also to this company. And so I've just taken it as stride and preparing and being ready as always.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You don't need to rush into this, So I think that's a good approach. Never fun to talk about a loss, but Veronica Hardy, what happened in that one? Kind of looking back.
You know what? I think after debriefing and stuff with the rest of the team, and I think a lot of things were on my plate. I don't have as much ring time and experience as a lot of these other fighters. I came out in the first round, and instead of embracing the nerves, I think I tried to hide them. Veronica and I had some history in 2019. I helped her do her whole fight camp here in Vancouver at a gym, DCS. And we became friendly that way. And I never really thought that maybe that would have taken part in it. And to this day, I still don't really know if that was a attributing factor to the result. In the first round, it was very slow. I was very slow to get going. The game plan was to sort of like feel her out and see how it goes. But that took 5 minutes. And then I only had 10 more minutes to do my job, which is, 15 minutes is not a lot of time. And I know I have the gas tank to do that. And I think coming out of fighting, my last few fights before that, other than my initial fight with Haley Cowan, were championship fights where I had 5 rounds. I had the time to sort of, game plan, assess. And like, I knew I could keep that intensity in the 4th and 5th round. But when you're in a 3-round fight, like you only have 3 rounds. There's not a lot of margin for error, especially when you leave it to the judge's decision.
Yeah. So urgency, obviously, with the 3 rounds, that's sort of, I'm sure, on the forefront. Let's talk about Ivana. She's got a similar record to you, 7-1. How do you feel like stylistically you match up against her here?
It's funny because like I always, I watch a little bit of tape here and there. Like coaches say, watch this part, watch this. But my team's so good at doing all that and devising a game plan on their own for all of us. But I think like from what I understand too, is that we're very similar, we're very similar in height. We're very similar in records. We're both on our 3rd UFC fight. And I feel like stylistically, like we are pretty similar fighters, in a lot of senses. So, again, this is another southpaw. It's my fourth southpaw in a row. So, I'm not sure I'll ever be able to fight an orthodox fighter again, but I think stylistically it'll be a great matchup because if it's on the feet, it'll be entertaining. And I know we're both great on the ground and it's good in the scrambles. So.
Okay. Let's talk about camp. How have things been structured a bit in terms of this fight? And it looked like you got like a full camp for this one too.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I feel like I've got a couple full camps, which is like pretty awesome. I mean, because I train all the time, I don't feel that I need, 12 weeks preparation. I actually was like training, and then my coaches made me take a week or 2 off fully, and then went into like a 6 week hard camp. But structure wise, it's awesome. I have such a great support system. I have a striking coach and a grappling coach, and then I've got a strength and conditioning coach, and everybody meets and we all talk and communicate like what I'm doing each week and how I'm doing each week and adjust the schedule. But like I'm a creature of habit and I like organization. So I have a little Excel sheet and it's all like scheduled and it's all in little compartments. And I really feel like I have like a lot of organization and it helps keep the brain organized. and
Yeah.
the
And so,
goal.
so you're probably keeping track of everything though, right? Like weight and,
Oh, yeah.
intensity and all that. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
kind of like Drago when he fought Rocky, right? Although that was a bit more intense, I think, right? So
Exactly. I like to
kind of
nerd out on stuff like that. Like I definitely like scientific stuff when it comes to like the weight, the nutrition. Like I embrace that whole process because I mean I've done it so many times now, but I just enjoy it from like a sort of student standpoint. I did do some kinesiology in university, and I definitely love the body and the nutrition part of being a fighter as well.
Okay, cool. What about training partners? Who'd you get a chance to work with?
Well, it's been pretty consistent. I didn't go away anytime this last year. So for me, I training down in Universal. So I've got Mel Zeman. She just came off to a 2-win fight streak and her first pro MMA fight back in a while with a, what was it, 3 or 5 second knockout or 8-second knockout. So I've got those girls and I've got the girls and guys down at WKX. Obviously, the striking empire of BC and arguably of Canada. I do train with a lot of guys for the most part. I mean, even when I have other girls to train with, I've got girls for the wall wrestling aspects. I've got girls for some of the other aspects, but I've got a lot of southpaw guys that are around my size and I use them for grappling and I use them for the MMA rounds. And I've always trained with guys and it's always worked for me. So, although there's not a ton of extra girls on hand, I feel like it's just the way it is around here for us.
Yeah, no, you got to make it work. And like you said, a lot of options too, which is great as far as gyms and all that. Your corner, what will that look like for this fight? Who's going to be making the trip to Edmonton for you?
So my corner this time around, I mean, obviously it's always been Jay Johnsey, Jeremy Kennedy, and Jesse Bufano for sort of my UFC team. Jeremy's got a big fight coming up, I believe at the end of next month as well. And it just with timing and stuff and the nature of where it is, Casey's going to be coming along this time in replace of Jeremy. So Jay, Jesse, and Casey Smith will be my team headlining this fight on November 2nd.
Yeah, and this will be I think, first time Casey's cornered you in the UFC, right?
First time in the UFC, and I guess first time since 2020. So it's been a 4-year layoff. I mean, he's always the guy behind the scenes, like organizing and orchestrating sort of where I'm going to be and sort of running the rounds and the training schedules. But this will be his first time in the limelight with me. There
you go. Got to put the record on the line. So if you win, then you can say, hey, I'm 1-0 or what, you know what I mean? So that'll be fun too. How's this fight playing out? You mentioned it there. Like if this stays standing, this could be a really good fight between you two as far as the striking aspect. How are you looking at this one? How do you see it going down?
I think, honestly, I never want to toot my own horn because, like you come out and you seem so cocky and then things don't go your way. But I am really confident and I feel really great about the camp that I've put in. I know me as a fighter, I've always taken care of my training partners. I never want to hurt anybody. And in return, I kind of get pushed around a little bit during training because I don't commit to the punches and the kicks and the knees and the elbows or whatever it is that I'm doing that day. Unfortunately for my training partners this year, it's been a completely different game plan since my fight with Veronica. It's kind of changed the way I train. It's changed the way and the intensity of which I train in each round. There's definitely days for flow rounds. But I've been finishing a lot of my teammates as of lately. I apologize. And I definitely think that I could finish this fight in multiple different ways, whether it's standing with my legs or my hands or somewhere on the ground. So I could see myself finishing this fight in some capacity. And I just don't want to say too much about exactly what I feel.
No, fair enough. Don't want to reveal the game plan. She might be watching, so we got to be careful here. Quickly, I wanted to ask you about a couple other fights. Just zoom through these. If you don't know the fight, we can skip it. But Robert Whittaker's fighting Hamzat Chimaev like a week before you. Big fight in the middleweight division. Who do you give the edge to there?
I love Whittaker. Instantly going with that. I just like his persona. I love his style. And I'm gonna go with Whittaker on that one.
Okay. Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria.
Oh man. Oh, Holloway's just such a he's just such a legend and it's just such a name, but Topuria is just that great as well. So, I love Max, but I'm going to take Topuria on that one.
Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, the rematch. Who's winning that?
Ooh. Let's go Chandler.
Okay.
I think he's a bit better looking.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And then John Jones and Stipe. I know this might seem like an obvious fight to a lot, but I'm waiting for someone to pick Stipe.
I'm going to take Stipe. I just love Stipe. There's just something about that guy that, again, when you're watching him, he's just got everything. He's a well-rounded athlete and very entertaining to watch and somebody that I've always picked no matter who he's fighting. So I'm going to take Stipe on that one.
Okay, you'll be one of the first people I reference if that ends up happening. I'll be coming back to you and I'll be giving you full credit. So good. Good on you for taking the pick. So this is your third fight in the UFC. So kind of like, I'm assuming big fight because you'll probably want to renegotiate before the last one, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is my first contract with the UFC, and I'm new to the whole experience of it, and I'm just grateful to be a part of this company. You know, they take really good care of us, and you know, everybody's dream is to be a professional fighter, and you know, my dream for that came a little bit later in my career. But I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm here for the long run. And I'd like to see after sort of what happens with this fight, what options I have available to me.
Yeah, take it fight to fight. Did you see the Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena fight this past weekend? Did you have? So who did you think won? Because some people felt that should have gone the other way. What did you think of the scorecards?
I definitely thought that Pennington won. I think that Pennington's style, you know, she dropped Penny a couple times. So I was kind of concerned that the judging was a little bit off that night. But yeah, I mean, I think it's tough. Like, you see all these fights where someone's challenging for the title, and there's got to be a definite winner for that belt to be given to somebody new. And I feel like that's kind of the standard that happens every championship fight. But I don't feel like that standard was upkept during that fight, you know? So do I think that there was one extremely definitive like winner in that fight? No. I felt like the fight was very close, but I feel like it wasn't close enough to get rid of the belt.
Yeah. I kind of thought that too, like that they might go that way. And if you kind of look at the overall fight, like Pena did threaten with that, I think, rear naked choke in I forget, it was third round, I think. But if you look at what Raquel did, like, she had Pena, I think, in more danger. But again, I'm not a judge. I'm just behind the camera. Your division, though, we got a new champion, Valentina Shevchenko. What did you think of her win over Alexa Grasso? I
mean, if you're coming to have the trilogy, like, they're coming in hot. So there's definitely game plans being implemented. Like, there's got to be different strategies. You know, we obviously know the Mexican boxing is unreal. You know, look at Irene that same night. Look at her face. You know, they're savages. They'll fight tooth and nail. And, you know, I had the luxury of being out there and training in that gym for 6 weeks last year. And I got to see sort of the mentality of that. So for me, it was I don't want to say a smart decision on Valentina, but I mean, it was a smart decision to change the game plan and to, you know, be a bit more aggressive. And when you're coming in, like I said, if someone takes your belt, you're doing everything you can to win that belt back. And she showed that she wanted that belt more than anything in the world. So congratulations to her. You know, impartial, because I do love Lobo, Alexa Grasso, Irene, Blue P, the coaches all down there are awesome and amazing. But I have no doubt that they're going to work twice as hard and they're going to come back and you know, we'll see what happens in the future.
I know it's October, but how was your summer? Because obviously you live up in Squamish, one of the most beautiful places, I think, in British Columbia. How was everything?
Summer was awesome. I got to, you know, go spend a little bit of time up and visit my family up in the interior, which is like, just like through Armstrong and Vernon. And
yeah, I know where that is. You're talking to a BC guy. I know all the areas. So that makes sense.
For everyone that doesn't know, it's up there. It's beautiful. It's a little bit of a drier climate. All my aunts and my mom and my grandma are all up there. And one of the biggest rodeos and IPEs in Canada is up there as well. So spent a whole week up there wearing cowboy boots and watching rodeos and going to barn dances. And yeah, I mean, like you said, beautiful. BC is so freaking beautiful. And I got to go swim in the river. I got to go hike in the mountains. I got to ride my mountain bike. I got to ride my dirt bike. I got to ride my Harley. You know, I just get to experience so much being where I am and right in the middle of Vancouver and Whistler. And I get so much between the two. I get to I can bike there, do something. I can bike that way and do something. So I definitely got to adventure a lot this summer. And, you know, obviously training is a priority. And I stayed on my game for a short notice fight. But I just enjoyed everything that Squamish and BC has to offer for me.
I was up there 2 weeks ago, just a short like camping trip, but man, you guys have a really good market out there. Like they do like the farmers market, like on the Saturday.
At the end of Cleveland Ave.
I think it was that one. Yeah. Yeah. And they have they have the stage there too, where like a band plays and stuff.
Yeah, like by the copper coil, there was like
Yep.
a bar.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. I have so many friends that have little booths in there.
Bought some hot sauce, got some sourdough bread. Like they got everything there. So I was a big fan of that.
The dumplings, Ling Ling.
My wife got some. She loved them. They were really good.
She's one of our members at the gym.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. It's one small community. And you know what's funny too? Like I was saying this to my wife, like everyone dresses the same. It's like that mountain attire, which I think is cool. It's like, because obviously people are hiking and doing all that stuff. Yeah. So I was like, I feel like out of place because I was wearing like just a regular sweater. But anyways.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like there's like their little niche for that. Like you just got a glimpse of it, but it's like, that's not Old Town Squamish. Those are like newcomers, like the rock climbers and like the van goers. So there's definitely like a new niche of that sort of style with the Valhalla, like 5-panel hats and all that look, you know, the rolled up pants, the big baggy jeans. But there's still like a bunch of us that are wearing our Lululemon tights and our baggy jeans and, you know, the casuals, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Didn't want to stereotype, but I did notice that when I was out there. But
we're very multicultural and we're very diverse that way. You can definitely we've got a lot of life here. We're welcome.
Jamie, thanks for doing this. UFC Edmonton, November 2nd. We're looking forward to it. Anyone you want to thank before we get out of here? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Awesome. Right now, I've just got some sponsorships on the go, and I'm definitely always grateful to have what I have from this community. It's definitely what keeps me going, allows me to do what I do and support me all the way through the process. Alta Lake Electric. I've got the Skin Boulevard. I have some local private supporters. Oh goodness gracious, I'm having a brain fart.
No worries, but I'm sure you're posting some of it on your social media so they can head there and they'll see all your sponsors, right?
On there. And one more.
Yeah, no problem.
Hold on, my brain. I feel terrible.
See, I put you on the spot because, you know.
Did. And then like I just came from 2 training sessions and I'm like, I was just hammering back a bunch of food. Oh my goodness.
No problem.
Ocean Rock Art. Why am I having a brain fart? Dan, the guy that owns Ocean Rock Art, you've probably seen some of it. He does a lot of the signage. So it's like spray rock. So like
I've seen that.
You see all these like signs along the way and it looks like it's rock, but it's like man-made rock. They make the coolest stuff. He was just out. He does a lot of stuff in the States, but they just did some really cool like skate park, but it looks like Caesar's Palace. So it's got like the like Greek like pillars like
cool
going over, and it's like a skate. Oh my god, it's absolutely amazing. But definitely my 2 newest sponsors this year are Alta Lake and Ocean Rock, and super grateful for these guys.
Perfect. All right.